I'm great, man. Okay, so let me say a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. Um, well, first of all, we need to address I'm going to say the elephant in the room, but that's that's not what I wanted to say. But of course, mothers, let me say a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of Sky 99.5 and all mothers by extension, who continue to do just that. I mean, uh, when coming to mothers, there is no comparison. I mean, me personally, I know I have a great relationship with my mother. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Judith Batson and a happy Mother's Day to you, as you will always be the greatest mother to me. And that is something that each of us individually will have, various experiences with our mothers. But a happy Mother's Day to all the listeners of Sky 99.5. May you continue to be blessed. May you continue to bless us because regardless of the age that we are, your mother is still your mother, you know. That headache sometimes you're not feeling good. Big man, 40 something, 50 something, and you're fortunate to have your mother alive, and is always mommy. So again, to everyone who um may not biologically be a mother to someone, but you have provided some sort of mental, spiritual, financial guidance, and as a guardian, may you continue to be blessed. And even the fathers who play the role of mothers at times, you know who you are. A happy Mother's Day to you as well. So with that being said, let me say, and that's coming out from, of course, the management and staff of Batson and Associates, and to all the mothers in Batson and Associates as well. Happy Mother's Day to you. Let me say also, happy Mother's Day to my sister. Today is actually her birthday, Abigail Batson. So happy birthday to you. Girl, I can't remember your age, and I wouldn't call your age on radio because, you know, I don't think I'll live afterwards. So let me don't make that mistake. But happy birthday to you, and I wish you many, many, many more. So with all the greetings being said now, keep in mind today, I hope mom's not lifting any fingers. You all, treating them well. Try and put some salad in that meal. We don't want, a little bit of the macaroni pie, how you usually conduct it, but make sure to have some salad, something healthy in there, a little quinoa mixed with the rice, because at the end of the day, we want our mothers to continue to live and to be healthy and to be with us as long as they possibly can. Nice. Keep in mind we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And of course, on TikTok, it's Dr. Batson. So let me say a pleasant good morning to our listeners on Facebook. We have Becca is in already. She says, good morning, Dr. Batson, and all mothers listening. Adelaide Harrington says, good morning, Dr. Batson, and happy Mother's Day to all the women. Miss Susan John, good morning to you. Miss Leslie Ann says, good morning to you, Dr. Batson and Associates. It's great once again to be in your presence. Thank you very much for the Mother's Day greeting. You're very welcome. Miss Grace Williams says, good morning. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Thanks for the wishes. Miss Annie Grant, good morning to you, Dr. Batson and Associates, and all the mothers. Blessed day to all. Our Instagram, of course, let me say a pleasant good morning to you guys. I always try my best not to forget Instagram, but it's just because, Facebook is on a big computer and Instagram is on a phone. And, I always have to kind of moving up and down to see your questions and that type of thing. So I would try my best to be a little more diligent this morning with Instagram to see if I could would be able to honor all your questions and that type of thing. So this morning, of course, if we dealing with the mothers, of course, we have to speak about the ladies, right? So we're gonna touch a bit on some things that affect women, especially women who may be a little more mature, and that, of course, is PMS, postmenopausal syndrome. And that's a topic that's always very close to my heart in the sense that I see it so much, and I have seen it so much with so many women that it is not a good thing to be in that mental space because women who have really bad PMS literally can end up a mental patient, which you don't wish for anyone because I mean when you have reached that stage where you are admitted um to some sort of psychiatric facility and you're recommended psychiatric drugs. That's never a good thing. In my opinion, in the sense that, your brain chemistry is changed completely. And a lot of times it really has to do, excuse me, with more deficiency than anything, as opposed to the symptomology. So I'll quickly explain. A lot of times, I'll give you an example. So what is referred to as what women experience post, I'll get it just now. In any case, so women who experience after pregnancy this particular type of depression, right, postpartum depression, that's a perfect example again of how if you don't deal with the root cause of the problems, you'll later end up in issues. So I'll explain something quickly. Anyone who has nervous imbalance or an imbalance in the central nervous system is open to any sort of mental diagnosis. So I'll say that again. Once you are in a state where your nerves are compromised, your central nervous system is significantly affected, i.e. compromised, you are in a state where you can have almost any mental diagnosis. So we know usually, okay, you will have depression, you have anxiety, but then there are the serious or more serious ones where you come to things like bipolar, schizophrenia. You come in that kind of situation. And what I have found a lot of times is that, sometimes doctors are a little too quick to run to those type of diagnoses and put you on psychiatric medication, which in my personal opinion is not a good idea. I mean, if you're in an emergency state where, of course, like I always tell you, if you leave a problem for it to become exacerbated, for it to really lay root, then you can reach a stage where you are in emergency. So someone who has a serious neurological deficiency, when that is really, really bad, that then you could end up in a case where you could have serious depression, anxiety. You could literally trip, as they say. And you tripping is not necessarily the diagnosis again, but it's because of the condition that the nerves are in. So hence the reason why I use the example of postpartum depression, because some years ago, postpartum depression was not a diagnosis. They didn't know anything about postpartum depression about, 50 years ago? Off the top of my head, maybe they start diagnosing women with postpartum depression maybe about 15, 20 years ago, if so much, 25 years ago for the most. The point I'm making, before that, they didn't realize that because these women would have carried these children to term, and of course, once you're pregnant, you're going to be given a lot of your body, your minerals, your nutrients to the developing baby. That's what is going to happen, which is why women during pregnancy lose so many things. You can lose your teeth, you lose your hair, all sorts of things, because these children are going to take everything out of you. They're going to take your magnesium, they're going to take your calcium, they're going to take a number of things you're going to get. So if it's taking all these minerals from the body, it means that the central nervous system can also be affected, right? I always tell persons that, let me give you an example of how this and most situations could be avoided with mental and psychiatric medication. So, because that's something you would want to avoid. Now keep in mind, I am not saying that if you need that type of treatment, that you should not do it or not. That's not what I'm saying. Let's not mix it up. What I'm saying to you is most of the time, it does not have to reach there simply because of what is the root cause of the problem. You all getting me? So the root cause of the issue is you have a deficiency or some sort of compromising taking place in the central nervous system. So when we're speaking about the central nervous system, what are we really talking about? We're speaking about your nerves, right? So the nervous system is the tangible aspect of the mental state of mind, because you have two mental states, right? You have your conscious mind and you have your subconscious mind, right? Now, remember, psychology And any psychiatrist that sit down with you or psychologist that sit down and attempts to evaluate you, they have to evaluate you based on what? Your behavior. Because behavior is tangible, right? They can't read your mind, you know. Well, I mean, most people can't. Um, if you're doing a little neuro-linguistic programming, there's a difference. If you know you're trained in hypnosis and that type of thing, then you could delve into someone's mind, you know, cautiously if you know what it is you're doing. But of course, tangibly, they have to look at behavior, and based on your behavior, then certain diagnosis would be made, right? So the point I'm making, but you are in a situation is as if it is you're building a house, but you have no raw material. Because I'll give you an example. Your liver converts protein to amino acids and amino acids to protein, right? Your central nervous system is significantly affected by the lack of or the presence of neurotransmitters and amino acids, because the amino acids are the building block for neurotransmitters. So when we're speaking about neurotransmitters, what we're speaking about? We're speaking about epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, melatonin. And those are key neurotransmitters to what? Sleep. Melatonin is one of the most important aspects of sleep. As to epinephrine, norepinephrine, they play some role in that whole central nervous system dynamics there. So it's very important for those to be at healthy levels. So it means that the individual who is diagnosed as postpartum depression, the individual who is diagnosed sometimes as bipolar or even schizophrenia, that's not your problem, you know. That's not because they're going based on your behavior. They have to determine. So if you're schizophrenic, they expect to see some sort of behavior that is normally conducive or goes along with someone who suffers from schizophrenia. If you're bipolar, they would look at your what they call mania. So you go from very high to very low. Depression, and of course, you have different stages and different levels of depression. I tell persons depression is one of the most suffered diseases, or is suffered by most people in the world, especially after COVID-19. You know, how many persons lost their lives, lost a business, whatever the case may be. So there are a lot of people who just functionally depressed, which is a bit dangerous because you could be depressed and functional, but when it gets really bad, especially if you don't know how to deal with it, well, then you're in a lot of problems. And that is, of course, where Batson and Associates comes in, because we are trained professionals in natural and integrative medicine. What does that mean? So it means that if you are in a state where your central nervous system is wrecked, and let me tell you something, it's very easy for your nerves to be wrecked, especially with the examples that I was giving you, where your body is in a state of deficiency. I'll give you an example. When you're studying for exams, I've known of persons going to school, tertiary education, not even tertiary, even children who would have sat SEA. If these children are not fed properly and they're not trained properly to understand certain things and how they maneuver themselves, but parents forget the nutrition a lot of the times when people study. And in fact, a lot of people go in university just forget nutrition in any case. I remember distinctly when because when you have labs and you have all these classes, you have to turn night into day. So a lot of the time, your nutrition is not as it should be during university, or whether you're doing A levels, whatever the case may be, because you study and you're focused on passing your exams, so you're going to be up very late, you have projects, whatever the case may be. But I'll tell you something, be very, very, very careful with that. You know why? Because most people who went off literally was around those circumstances, you know. Even teachers, even school teachers now, with this new dynamic, well, I know they're going back to the classrooms now a lot, but still, online still plays a significant role in the education system now. And that was it was very difficult for a lot of teachers, even the children, to adjust. They proved that, right? So the stress levels were much higher and that type of thing. So even in those situations, especially with the use and the introduction of the technology and the online, and then you had all those hurdles to go across, the teething problems with, just the mere equipment itself. and understanding those things, and then of course being having to translate that now to children or teach in this new environment. The point is, a lot of teachers literally almost went off their rockers with that, right? And I say that not to be facetious in any way, but to state a fact that that is actually what had happened. Good. So it's very important that if you fall in that category, that you take very, very good care of yourself, especially women who are teachers or who work in very stressful environments, and you reach a certain age. So you may be post-menopause. We know what post-menopause is, right? Post is subsequent or after. So after menopause, because you actually have three stages. You could have premenopause, menopause, and post-menopause. It's quite unfortunate that most women do not understand that in your post-menopause years, you are in a situation where any market play is almost as if you're gambling. And the reason I say that is because you would have to understand that you're constantly in a state where your hormones can give you problems. When you look at women with PMS, when you look at women who have what it is I was speaking about, postpartum depression, look at them carefully. Look at their behavior, always very nervous, emotional imbalance. So sometimes they're crying, sometimes they're serious as a judge, not in the mood for anybody. Usually, insomnia plays a significant role in that. And you have to understand too that, as I said, just as those amino acids are needed for the proper formation of um, neurotransmitters, and neurotransmitters are in turn needed for proper function, neurological function. It means that in the event of that you do not have sufficient or there is deficiency, you're going to be in problems. And that's what a lot of persons don't understand. So, ladies, women, take care of yourself. Understand that your mental health is very important. I mean, anyone's mental health is important, but I find women now, especially with this PMS situation, their mental health is seriously up for grabs, and that's never a good thing. I mean, you all know me by now. I'm not the fan of the fluoxetine and the Revotril and the Zoloft and those type of things. I mean, if it is needed as a case of emergency, of course, we know that's not a problem. And that's something that a lot of persons don't understand as it relates to Western medicine. If you look at documentation from, for example, the World Health Organization and various health organizations globally, you will understand their concern of the overuse of medicine and medication. It's not me saying that. The World Health Organization is seriously concerned that the overuse of antibiotics. They have stated that on numerous occasions. Just up to recently, there was a forum that they had. There was a document I was looking at recently, a report where they showed that is something that is significantly working on. They're also concerned of the excessive use of these antacids. So is everybody now popping an acid blocker? Because you're not eating on time, you're not eating properly, you're eating and drinking simultaneously, you're not using proper detoxes and all these type of things. So you're having a lot of build-up in the stomach, build-up in the esophagus, and as a result of that, now you're having acid reflux, good gastrointestinal reflux disease, and all these type of things. So when you get these things now, what you have an overuse of these antacids. They're concerned about that. Painkillers, concerned about that as well. Everybody know who have a pain, your back hurt, your head hurt, you just want to taking painkillers, but they're realizing now and more how detrimental it is. A lot of persons, your stomach, people have ulcers because of the overuse of medication. And then in Trinidad, we're not backward here. They just recommend a prescription for every single thing. Gone are the days when you used to get a little something with a little caffeine and maybe some, what is the other ingredient in that? But I can't remember it off the top of my head. For the cold, now when you go to the doctor, if you have a pain, is an antibiotic they're giving you, and that's what I'm saying. So the concern, so therein lies the question of it. So it's not a matter of I'm saying not to use medication. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is it necessary at that particular point in time? Have there been instances where persons have been recommended excessive amount of excessive amount of medication? Yes. have there been instances where, because of specific medications being recommended, you had specific issues associated with that patient? Yes, on many, many occasions. So therefore, it's not too far to think that maybe some sort of evaluation or some sort of process may be needed to ensure, the proper dispensation of medication. I've had clients who came to me that was taking 5 hypertension medication. Why would you give somebody 5 high blood pressure medication? So you're taking enalapril, nifedipine, atenolol, pantopral, and not pantopral, sorry, that's not for hypertension. The Benadryl and Lasix. I had someone like that. I've had persons on 4 or 5 different diabetic medications. So you're taking glucophage, diamicron, or you're taking glucophage and Genovia. Sometimes 3. 2 glucophage in the morning, 2 glucophage in the night, 1 Genovia in the morning, 1 Genovia in the night. That's a lot of medication. So again, it comes down to what you're dealing with in terms of addressing the root cause of the problem. So ladies, if you would have done hysterectomies, yeah, and you know yourself, again, I'm not the favorite fan of removing any organs. Invasive should always be the last things, and good doctors know that. It is just go chopping open people and just taking out things out of them. Even though it has some of them, if you give them a chance, that is exactly what they're going to do. I am again always mindful that good doctors know that least invasive is always the best. What does that mean? So you go to the doctor, you do an echocardiogram, and they tell you, well, you've seen some kind of things here, your ejection fraction is supposed to be about 65, yours is about 30. If you have an ejection fraction at 30 in problems, it means your heart is essentially too weak, it is not functioning properly, and if you leave it as is, you may end up having to put in a foreign piece of equipment inside of there, i.e. a defibrillator, maybe a pacemaker or something like that. And you don't really want that, do you? So you would because research has shown on numerous occasions, especially with serious cardiovascular patients, that when dietetics is put in there, when exercise is put in there, when proper nutrition is put in there, with someone who knows what they're doing in nutrition, like Batson Associates, then you can get positive change without the invasive aspect. Because if you can imagine they cut you open for blocked arteries, do some bypass, and then 2 years after your arteries block up again. That has happened to people, because they didn't change the diet. You're still eating the same nonsense. So what's going to happen there? You didn't make the change. Well, nonsense not to you because you're not aware. There are some people who genuinely do not know how to make proper lifestyle and proper dietary changes. There are actually people like that. I at one point in time didn't believe that it had persons like that. I used to believe, nah, man, everybody has sense, everybody reading. We live in an information age. People know what to eat, people don't know not what to eat. They know what to eat and know not what to eat, or what to not eat, rather. My apologies. And that's not the case. So if you need education, of course, no problem. Nobody is saying no. Like I was explaining to someone recently about quinoa. Well, if you know by now, I'm a quinoa fanatic, right? I really like it. And the reason why I like it is for a number of things. One, it is very, very, very good for diabetes. I'm telling you, there's free, nice advice all I get in here. You cannot pay for this. It is very good for diabetics. So you know you have diabetes, go and find yourself some quinoa. You're skinning up your face and tell me you don't like how it tastes, mix it with something. Put it in rice, all you could cook, man. You could cook. I have that belief in all you could cook. So cook the thing properly. Little sweet pepper, you get your red onions, make it a proper meal. The problem with most people is that they just figure they automatically throw up their hands in the air and say, well, I don't like how this tastes, that don't taste good. Oh God, it tastes. No, you didn't try, you didn't do nothing. You didn't even try to cook itself by complaining about the taste. Or somebody else cook it for you and you don't like how it tastes. You cook it for yourself. I'm assuming you're a better cook. But the point is, you understand the nutritional aspect of it. Quinoa is loaded with protein. It is actually one of the better foods for people who into things like bodybuilding and if you're training in the gym and that type of thing. high amounts of fiber, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And we know what fiber does to the body. Insoluble fiber decreases the transit time of your bowel movement. So it means it gives you a quicker bowel movement, which of course is very good because you don't want waste staying in your intestines. Do you? The faster that is assimilated, processed, and gets out your body, the better off you are. You don't want things digesting for days inside of you. And that is happening to people, eh? Especially you, the meat lovers. You're thinking it for kind of a week and 2 weeks because your digestive system has literally taken a vacation. So, to the diabetics, to people who want to put on, and what is also good for, it's very good for your muscles because as you get older, we experience something known as muscular atrophy. So muscular atrophy is when, so ladies, you know, when you raise up your arm and you hit that kind of wing that you have underneath it, and you're complaining and saying, they tell, say, Dr. Batson, this kind of flap I have here, you want, and that is one of the reasons why people, and if you're a diabetic who use metformin, then you're in even more problems because you are now in a situation where you have diabetes, which significantly interferes with your muscles, but you're also using metformin. And one of the things metformin do, or does rather, is it blocks the body's, the muscles' ability to take up glucose. So it could actually cause problems with muscular atrophy. It damages the muscles over a period of time. Now, a lot of people didn't know that, right? So using that for a period of time, you could lose maybe about 30% of your muscle mass. And then you have a problem assimilating protein or improper protein digestion because we know the linkage, as I was just saying, between amino acids and protein as it relates to their involvement in the maintenance and building of healthy muscle. So it's very, very important that from a dietetic perspective, you introduce proper diet ethics into that entire routine as a diabetic especially. Okay, so that's something you need to take into consideration. So let me, of course, give you those telephone numbers and our clinic days. Let me say thank you very much to the Latoya and Miss Karishma Ramdan, and of course all the hardworking staff at Batson Associates. We actually pulled off opening our Tobago office Monday. I was there. I worked Monday. Tuesday, I had to come back earlier than anticipated. So I came back Thursday because I had a radio and some other things to see about. Miss Ramdan stayed there and did a very excellent job in terms of doing the tests and that type of thing. So to the people of Tobago, your office is now open. And as we go, as time goes by, of course, we go from strength to strength where we will have all those services there for you, your foot detox, your massage therapy, and all those other things, your products and that type of thing. Of course, we'll be going to Tobago. Me personally will be there Mountain again. Um, I can't remember the days. I'm going to give you the day, and of course, we're going to post it up on our social media platforms. That office, of course, is located in the Triangle building. So we're just next door to where we were before in the same building, but separate entrance. Okay. Nice space there, and of course, that telephone number that you can call. There is actually two numbers. Shakila gave me the three something one, but I don't know where I rested. But I know off the top of my head the 226-4553 number. That's for the Tobago office. That's 226-4553. St. James, of course, is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220, that's 220-8113. 220-8113. And of course, Debe is the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And of course, Shagona's head office is the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose. Shagona's, oh, that other number for Tobago is actually 312. That's 312-4248. So that's 312-4248. And that office, of course, is open every day, Monday to Friday. When we correct that additional situation, we're going to start opening on our Saturdays. But as of now, Tobago doesn't open on Saturday. Of course, stay tuned for when that actually does or begins. So of course we'll be able to facilitate persons on a weekend as well, because some people work Monday to Friday or whatever the case may be. So, you know, we're able to facilitate individuals as best as we can. Okay. So that is something to look forward to. That telephone number again for Tobago is 312-4248. That's 312-4248. And of course, 226-4553. That's 226-4553. So you could call, you could make your appointments for that 3-in-1 special, where you get your live blood analysis, dry blood analysis, magnetic resonance analysis scan, and your consultation. Your food detox, we will honor at a subsequent time. So we actually have a whole lot of food detox for a whole lot of people. So that's something that once we get that on board and we start, we're going to ensure that we call persons so that we could honor that as we would normally do, and give you the service that you deserve to get. So that, of course, and those scans and bloods will be done, of course, by the consultants. So it will either be Ms. Karishma Ramdan, either Mr. Stefan Vialva, Mr. Green, or Mr. Bastamante. It depends on how we do, what we do, when we do. Okay, but of course, there's going to be someone there all the time so that you could take advantage of that service. You could at least start, and what Dr. Batson does is actually do the review for you. So, it gives us the opportunity to get you started as opposed to you just sitting down there and waiting and, you have to come back and, because of course, the volume of people that we have to deal with. Okay. So again, that number for Tobago, 226-4553. That's 226-4553, as well as 312. That's 312-4248. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. So I'm going to go over to Mr. Carter now, sir. Yes, I don't know, for some reason I hear you a little on the low side, so I don't know if it's maybe on my side or if you can speak a little louder. Yeah, a little better, a little more again. Right, nice, good.
So there's numbers to call on 625-2759 or 624-7729. And you can also send your WhatsApp messages to 333-995. We actually have a couple messages in queue.
Okay, good. So you're saying we have some messages there already?
Yes.
Okay, good, well, no problem. Let's start to address them.
The question is, someone who wants to reason and for recipe, and there's a lot of people asking for that recipe.
Okay, I have to give them it again. All right. That's a good question, I believe you can use it. What I would suggest you do is use a small amount. So you use like 1 teaspoon in the hot water. Simply because olive oil, unlike other oils, olive oil has so many grand properties associated with it. I mean, it's excellent for circulation. It's it's actually one of the oils with one of the highest heating points. So actually people say that you're not supposed to cook with olive oil. And that's something that I used to say until I actually did, extensive research and realized that actually you can, because it is one of the oils that has one of the best heating points. So in a case like that, I believe 1 teaspoon you should try 1 teaspoon at a time, and I would believe you should end up in any problem because of what reasons actually that is, and because of how the mix there is done. So those of you who didn't hear it before, what you do, you get raisins. I use either the black one or the golden raisins, right? But I love raisins, so raisins is raisins to me, right? So what you do, you get a cup of raisins, you wash it out properly, and you throw it in a bowl. So of course we know we're not using plastic, right? So it's either Pyrex, stainless steel, or those fancy glass. You all know what you're doing, right? You take the copper raisin, you throw it in there, and then you hot water, and when the water comes to a rolling boil, you throw the hot water over the raisins, but you just put it to cover the top of the raisins. You're leaving the raisins overnight. So, well, actually, it's not overnight. You actually have to leave it for 24 hours. So you cover the raisins. Yes, leave it, cover it, leave it there, right? The reason you leave it for 24 hours is that you want some little kind of fermentation starting to take place now, because it's raisins, right? When that starts to play, so 24 hours is good. After the 24 hours, you take the raisins, you throw it in a osterizer, and you take the equivalent of 1 cup of olive oil, make sure it's proper olive oil you have, and you throw it inside of that, and you use the osterizer and you blend it up, right? And that mixture that you have there, that is now blended up, you throw in a glass bottle and you put it in your fridge. So it's going to have some little pieces of thing inside it. That's how it is. That's how we want it. Good. And what you do now, normally, everyone else who has their gallbladder could use a tablespoon. I normally use like about 2 tablespoons, right? But I normally tell persons start with 1 tablespoon because what happens to you, that going to send you to the washroom, eh? Yeah, you're going to start to use that and you're going to realize in some cases you may get some bowel movement, which is a good thing because it's actually starting to cleanse the body. One of the things that actually does is actually very good for your liver. So it's actually very good as a liver detox. It's also very good as a liver tonic. And of course, we know it has a lot of benefits for your gastrointestinal system as well. So it's a very good way to, get some healthy stuff, for want of a better expression, into the body. Okay, so if you have had your gallbladder removed, your gallbladder is responsible for the emulsification of fat. So you find with certain oils it could be problematic. But I believe in this case, as I said, with the olive oil and raisin mixture, if you use 1 teaspoon in hot water, I don't believe you should have any issues. Okay.
Okay. So it's 1 tablespoon, sorry, to how much water exactly?
8 ounces of water.
8 ounces of water. That's supposed to be warm as well.
Correct. What I do just to make my life easy, I just put it in tea. One of the teas that I would drink, so let's say I'm doing circulation tea or gastro tea, I would just take it and throw it inside the tea and drink it one time. So I tell persons you could do it like that, or you could just put it in the warm water and drink it. Because a lot of persons know the drinking a glass of warm water first thing in the morning. So I actually put it inside of that water and drink it, or put it in the tea. So either way, for convenience, you can do that. Keep in mind, though, as I said, with the early morning, and I tell persons when you're doing it, try it like over the weekend. So like a Saturday and Sunday and see how it goes with you because in some cases it can send you to the washroom. So it would be safer, to try it like a Saturday or a Sunday. And then you could adjust the time that you drink it if you do get bowel movement with it. If you're getting bowel movement, well, that is a good thing. It means it's seeing something in there that has no right to be there and it's basically removing it. I always tell persons when you use certain things, and you get people say, I got a bowel movement, my belly hurt me. I got a diarrhea. You didn't get a diarrhea. You get a cleanse. That's what you get. I'll give you an example quickly with alkagen water. I remember someone coming to us. We were actually doing some promotion, and they came and they bought a bottle of water. And we had their information, and then we called them. Oh no, they called us. And they said that they used the alkagen water and they found it strange that they got a belly work, as they put it. So I said, well, how you mean you got a belly work? They said, well, they drank the water. And, must be about an hour or 2 hours after, their belly started to hurt them. And then they went to the washroom. And, they had a lot of bowel movement. I said, well, okay, that's a good thing because with alkagen water, your water, one is ORP. The water is a mineralized water in the sense that naturally water is supposed to have minerals, calcium, magnesium, those type of things in it. And the oxygen is also oxygenated water. So water like that is going to, if it is you have any sort of impurities in the body, is going to start to remove it. And it's similar with the olive oil and the raisins. It's also similar even with omega-3. I'm not calling any specific brand, but there are some people, there's a very popular omega that they talk about, right? And a lot of people use that product. And they may complain and say, well, they use it and they got more pain, or they use it and they didn't feel good. It's not only people product not good, People product proper good. I mean, that's from I didn't do any research on the product per se, but I would believe a product in the market that long has some sort of, um, you know, efficacy and potency behind it, right? I'm a huge advocate of the use of omegas. If you come to Batson and Associates, especially the one with the astaxanthin, I love that. That to me is one of the most favorite. I mean, if you really do research on omegas and you understand how important they really are, um, of course, we were given some advice recently where you talk about blood thinning, and it does have blood thinning properties, but anyone who would have come to Batson and Associates, when we give you those, we give you under specific directives, and we normally don't recommend that you use it with aspirin. But that's for our next discussion. The point is that, it has tremendous benefits for the human body. You all don't know how much benefits. You don't know. Tremendous benefit. And of course, that's something. So I'm saying all of that to say a lot of the times it is not necessarily the product, but it is you. You are in a state of disrepair. A lot of people don't like to hear that. you are in a state that requires some serious attention. And because I wouldn't use the word nature, but because of the properties of specific things, like, for example, the raisins, the olive oil mixture there. If that goes into a body that has impurities, it is going to wake up some things inside of you. You have to understand that. Are you aware that tissues hide in the body for tissues could hide in your body for years? Why I think obesity, when you're fat, and this is again not, trying to be rude or disrespectful to anyone who is dealing with a weight situation, but of course I always admonish and applaud, well, admonish persons who have a weight situation to work on it, because it is detrimental to you, especially with visceral fat. So if you go and research visceral fat, you'd realize that visceral fat, what toxins do is that they store themselves in fat deposits in the body. So that is why people who have fatty liver, which is when the doctor tell you that you have a fatty liver. Some years ago, people used to be saying, the doctor say I have a fatty liver, and he said, that's okay. Are you crazy? A fatty liver not too far from cirrhosis of the liver. So don't let nobody mama guy you with that when you go and you do ultrasound or you do tests or you come to Batson and Associates, because our magnetic resonance analysis scan would pick up a fatty liver. And if you have a fatty liver, you are in problems already. You need to deal with that. Because a fatty liver, you do not want toxins being stored in your liver. Remember, your liver is the largest internal organ in the body. Yeah? Your liver have over 500 different processes and different functions, I should say, rather. One of the major functions of the liver, as I discussed at the genesis of the conversation, is that your liver converts protein to amino acid and amino acid to protein. So if you have an unhealthy liver, you can't have good sleep. What good sleep you're going to get? You'll have insomnia. You watching the ceiling, you could watch paint dry, you could work security, because your liver is not functioning what? Properly. So you all understand the link? Your liver is a neurological organ. It is also a digestive organ. It is a metabolic organ. The liver is one of the most dynamic organs in the body, in that it crosses functionality and organ systems. So your liver is part of your digestive system, but your liver is also part of your, could you categorize that as part of the endocrine system? Yes, you can. You can. Part of your digestive system as well. So it's very, very important. So that's your raisins with your olive oil mixed there. I'll give it again before I leave. Keep in mind those telephone numbers and open clinic days. So we have open clinic days next week in Shogunas, Debe, St. James, and Tobago, all our offices. And as regards to when Dr. Batson is there, yours truly, in terms of marathon days, we will let you know accordingly. That telephone number again for Shogunas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And of course, the location is the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number again is 222-8261. Over to you again, Mr. Carter.
Question. Good morning, Dr. Batson. What causes vertigo and what do you have that is best for its treatment?
As it relates to vertigo, vertigo is actually a diagnosis, excuse me, where you have a situation where you do not have sufficient blood flow to your brain. So you experience dizziness, you experience lightheadedness, you can have fainting spells, you could literally have dizzy spells. It's not a very good situation. You could imagine you're driving and you start to feel dizzy. That's not a good thing. And I have known that have happened to persons, right? So that is really what vertigo is. Usually, Western medicine would recommend something known as Stemetil. And Stemetil does play some role as it relates to helping with balance and that type of thing. In my experience, one of the things I've told persons, go on YouTube and look for exercises for vertigo, and you'll actually see, because I can't go through the amount of detail is it to actually tell you over the radio. It doesn't make any sense. You could just go and look at it for yourself. But what you will see that there are stretching exercises that you can do. There is one that you actually do where you go down in a fetal position, like you crouch on your knees and you sort of bringing your head as close as possible. Then there are ones when you lie down and you raise your hands, you go across to the right. So you could go and check it out. And what those exercises do is actually help with bringing back some level of balance as it relates to the eardrums, one, but it also helps in some cases to remove sinus in the sinus cavity. Now, one of the problems that a lot of persons have is that their sinuses are blocked up. Quite unfortunate. And the reason for that is because there's a lifestyle problem associated with that. So here we're discussing the people who love the milk. You know, there are people who just love milk. All in all themselves, right? So you like the milkshake, you like the ice cream, you like the banana splits, you just love a milk. Everything is milk for you. Those are the people, dairy milk, who are going to end up in that problem. Because what happens when your sinuses are blocked? Because if you look at a diagram of the sinus cavity, the brain, you would realize that there are your sinuses are basically passages throughout the cerebral hemisphere, right? So your sinuses actually connect different things, right? It connects your eyes, your nose, your throat. Hence the reasons ENT doctors are called just that, ENT, right? Ears, nose, throat, because they're all related. I mean, if trouble take you, you might have to see you don't really have to see maxillofacial surgeons, so but you have something known as your maxillofacial um nerves there. That's kind of like by your cheek and your lower jaw there. You really don't want to have any problems with to have to see a maxillofacial surgeon. I mean, that's like for people who have things like trigeminal neuralgia or suffer from neuralgia and those type of things, they usually have serious problems with nerves because if you know how many nerves you have in that whole aspect, just of your face alone. There are numerous nerves associated with that. You even have your vagus nerves, which joins different aspects of the central nervous system, which is connected to your diaphragm and a whole host of things. So the point is, when your sinuses are blocked, you significantly affect the proper flow of blood, oxygen, and nutrients to various aspects of the cerebral hemisphere. Hence the reason you have vertigo. So it's just a matter of clearing out those sinuses and improving the circulation. Products that we have, circulation tea, very good for that. Cerebral is a product that we use primarily for memory because what it does, the ingredient profile is one that is used primarily for children who suffer from attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, ADHD, because the ingredient profile in it actually helps to improve one's ability to concentrate. And I know personally because I use the product. And everyone who has used it, they will tell you that you literally get brighter. Your ability to pay attention to detail, your cognitive function, your ability to concentrate is significantly improved, especially over a period of time. Nerve Restore is a product I always like. You know that because of what it does for the central nervous system. The problem with most people with Nerve Restore and the general consensus as regards to the results with that product is like about 98%. 98% of people who use Nerve Restore, they're satisfied, they'll come back, they'll get an next bottle, they'll recommend it to someone. If you have a sleeping problem that is really, really bad, or you have really, your nerves, like they're shot, and I have experienced or dealt with persons who have shot nerves, which is what I was talking about again at the genesis of the conversation where we were speaking about women who have problems with PMS. Because when you have PMS, your nerves are shut. And, you know, I am saying it because I have seen, listen to me, you don't want to, I really feel sorry for these women. I really feel sorry. If you experience just 1% of what a female who has something like postpartum depression, anxiety, if you experience, and it's a lot of work, you know. Let me explain something to you. When your nerves have gone bad, listen to me, you have work to do, you know. You have work to do. I am telling you, I'm not asking you, I am telling you. After your gastrointestinal system, your central nervous system takes precedent. I always tell people that. It's between that and the lymphatic system. I would give the nervous system it. So when your nerves are shut, and your nerves become shut for a number of reasons, you know. I was explaining to someone recently, and I try to keep the analogy as simple as possible. Stop working your body like a car or a taxi from Port of Spain to San Fernando. and servicing your body like you're working from Port of Spain to Sawa. I will say it again. Stop working your body like you are working. So we're using the analogy of a taxi, right? If you are working, if you're a taxi man, if you're driving taxi, you have a 7-seater, you're working from Port of Spain to San Fernando. Ladies and gentlemen, the listeners of Sky 99.5, that vehicle is under way more pressure than a vehicle that is working from Port of Spain to Sawa. You all follow what I'm saying? So if you're working from Port, if your body is under stress, like a vehicle that is working from Port of Spain to San Fernando, and you are eating, you are feeding yourself like you're working from Port of Spain to Sawa, you are going to end up with a nervous breakdown. And that's what is happening to people. So all the postpartum depression, all the anxiety, all the depression, all the bipolar and all, it's not that. It was never that, you know. It was that your vehicle, for want of a better expression, has not been serviced. You ain't check your battery, you ain't check your water, you ain't change your filters. What are you doing? And when you have that demand on you, and let me tell you something, that demand is, it depends on person per person. You know? You have to know your level of stress. You know? You have to know what you're going through. Nobody could know what you're going through except you, you know. Don't feel you could sit down and explain to people why you're feeling how you're feeling. You know? I mean, if you sit down and talk to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, there's a difference. There's counseling we're talking about. Psychologists primarily, not the psychiatrists. Not that I'm saying not to go to a psychiatrist, but psychologists, you know, sometimes counseling you need. You don't really need medication. You know? But I'm just saying that to say that if you have deficiencies there, a lot of times, remember, because medical doctors are not trained in nutrition, and that's not me trying to hit somebody a low blow, it's a fact. So when you come to them, they're looking at what is in front of them, the behavior. So you might be manic, you might be stressed out, because your nerves you don't have what it takes to carry you. It's like you going to run a marathon and you never drink water. You're mad. It's dead, you're dead. The ambulance will pick you up. So a lot of y'all running marathons, you're trying to deal with, you're working, you're a CEO, you're a director, I don't know, you might be a government minister, you might be a senator, and poor you dealing with the whole world worries, and you will not taking care of yourself. What do you think going to happen to you? You will crash and burn. Plain talk, bad manners. You think people just get heart attack just so? You think you just get stroke just so? You think you just get fatigue just so? You think you just burn out just so? No. You got to know what you're doing. So if you know, I'm saying it again to you all, you know, if it is you know, all these people getting strokes, all this that stroke we getting now, you feel it's just so? You can't be stressed out, you working, you might be a manager, you might be a CEO, you look how much people you have to deal with, you might have staff. Well, teachers, I feel sorry for the most, because I think there's a whole different piece of work there, especially with this generation that you're all dealing with, you know. So if you're not feeding your mind properly, if you're not feeding your body properly, if your liver not in proper condition, your digestive system not working, you're not drinking water, where expect to happen to you? Hmm? And then when you end up in the hospital now, everybody's surprised. Hey, you know, John was good. I see John the other day. John was looking nice. John in the hospital now. John was looking nice. Inside, inside, inside. Living food, living body. Dead food, dead body. My good friend Big Mike always says it. Dead food, dead body, living food, living body. Someone asked me about CMOS and the live. Let me say a pleasant good morning to my very good friend, Miss Pauline McKenna. My dear, you know, happy Mother's Day. She says, good morning, Dr. Batson, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Yes, my dear, same to you. I know I have a buff up to get it, but we'll talk about that in due time. So over to you again, Mr. Carter, sir.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Batson. My question is, I have sinusitis. I have lost a couple of teeth. I need your medical opinion on this. Yes.
So the person said they have sinusitis and they have lost a couple of teeth.
Yes, they have.
Okay. Well, the thing is, if you have sinus, as I said, sinusitis has a lot to do with blockage or interruption or primarily blockages in the sinus cavity. The thing is, a lot of people do not know how extensive the sinuses are, your sinus cavity. I mean, I wish I could have a 3D diagram of anatomy and physiology as regards to how extensive the sinus cavities are. Excuse me. The thing is, I tell persons is that when you use dairy, it creates a lot of problem in the sinuses. So just stop using dairy. Stop it. I mean, cheese, your butter, milk. Quite frankly, those things not really needed much in your diet. I mean, if you're looking at cottage cheese or you're looking at maybe feta and that kind of thing, there's a difference. And then if you put that in salad or you have cottage is actually, in terms of the protein content, is very high. They actually use that, bodybuilders use that, people who involve in physical activities, athletes, that type of thing. So it's a matter of being able to bring some balance there. And as regards to the teeth, well, I mean, if you lost teeth, unfortunately, I can't give you those back. You may, of course, have to go to the dentist and put in whatever you need to put in. Those of you who have your teeth in your mouth and want to keep it, I always tell persons, oil pulling, I'm a huge advocate of. You all know what oil pulling is, right? That's where you take the cold pressed coconut oil and you swish it around in your mouth. I have done that on numerous occasions. It has worked. I remember there was a teeth I have that was giving me some problems. And I started doing that and it worked. It really did work. Right. And of course, your dental hygiene is very important. Go to your dentist at least every 6 months. Please try your best because it does make a difference. Women, if your younger days now and you have children or you plan on having children, try and make sure that your nutrition is covered so that when you do get pregnant, because that's the problem with a lot of women. I mean, sometimes a lot of persons don't plan their family. And then sometimes you have an unexpected something because women can get pregnant on birth control. I've seen it happen on numerous occasions. Women can have gotten pregnant thinking they're in menopause too. And this time is what just hormonal imbalance. And you come by Batson and Associates, you drink some santulan and water, and then you're calling us to tell us you're pregnant. So, you know, things can happen. So sometimes women get catch off guard, right? But it means now during pregnancy that you need to play catch up. The unfortunate thing is during pregnancy has a tendency to be a very, is where you're feeling for. So, you might feel for a red mango, your ladies have, I mean, I know somebody had to leave our house 12 o'clock at night to go and find tamarind ball. So we know you're dealing with cravings and that type of thing. But of course, the important aspect and foundation of nutrition that is needed for you to now, carry to term and have a healthy baby. And you remain intact because that's what you want to know. During pregnancy, you want to remain intact. We have those various little vitamins that women use during pregnancy. I tell them none of those things enough. All the clients that I would have worked with who came to us for infertility problems and who came for us for diet ethics as regards to pregnancy, I made sure and give them very balanced. I remember dealing with a client in Tobago and I had recommended D3 during her pregnancy, and the doctor, because they were working with their gynecologist and whatnot. And the gynecologist called me and asked me how come I recommended D3. And I said, well, D3 is vitally important for proper fetal brain development, and it also prevents the mother from developing a lot of problems, especially issues associated with osteoporosis and that. And she didn't know that. She said, well, okay, she wasn't aware that that was the case, and we continued what we were doing. But it's a matter of understanding where diet ethics lie and how to dot your I's, and cross your T's as it relates to nutrition, especially nutrition associated with specific problems. So very quickly, so if you have a liver problem, nutrition can help you. You have a mental problem, nutrition can help you. You have a cardiovascular problem, nutrition can help you. You have erectile dysfunction problem, nutrition can help you. You have a prostate problem, nutrition can help you. Women, you have problems with polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis. Nutrition can help you. If you realize most of these diseases are now categorized as what? Lifestyle diseases. So my question to you is, if your lifestyle put you there in the first place, what do you think should take you out of the problem? Your lifestyle, right? Common sense may be for book. So that's something that you need to pay attention to. So again, keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose Shogunas, that telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. St. James marathon uh, marathon clinic is actually going to be in June. So I'm going to give you those dates, not this week, but next week, please God, as regards to how we'll be dealing with that marathon clinic for the St. James office. And of course, Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That telephone number for Tobago, again, is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And you could also take 312-4248. That's 312-4248. Mr. Carter, sir.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Batson. It's a program at the age of 14, which way you suggest that I check my prostate ultrasonic or any traditional way.
Prostate, I would recommend ultrasound. Um, I mean, PSA is negligible, but PSA, I mean, because in the grand scheme of things, I have known of persons who have gotten PSAs that were very good and they had prostate cancer. I know of persons who have gotten PSAs that were extremely bad and nothing was wrong with them. So PSA in the grand scheme of things is not the most accurate aspect associated with evaluating prostate health. I'm a huge advocate of ultrasounds. Again, non-invasive. If you're doing transrectal, well, you're going to have to be a little uncomfortable because they're going to have to go to the up via the back. And they would have to do the reason why they do transrectal is because they would basically go in from the anus and then they look upward. So what the probe is going to do, the probe is going to give you the entire back aspect of the prostate, because you know, of course, your prostate and your colon is neighbors, very close neighbors. Apart from, so transrectal ultrasound, abdominal pelvic ultrasound, prostate ultrasound, MRI, CT scan. Usually if you're doing a CT or they use contrast depending on that type of thing. I'm not a fan of biopsies, and I say that plainly without any kind of anything, because yeah, me personally, I ain't doing that on me. Anybody else, if you want, you could go right ahead. Why I don't like it? A number of reasons. It opens you up to infection. Anybody in the field of simple biology would know that. The thing is, doctors' argument is that the pathologists would want to see the tissue. And of course, there's something they use called a Gleason score. The Gleason score is what gives them to determine the category of cancer as it relates if it's a slow growing cancer, medium or moderate growing or advanced growing cancer. Usually, if once a Gleason score, so Gleason score is a score that they use in determining prostate cancer and measurement and that type of thing. I believe anything 5 and up, anyway, between 5 and 7, if you have a Gleason score of that, it means your cancer is an aggressive cancer. Normally, in some cases, you would see some sort of carcinoma, then adenocarcinoma, that type of thing. What I'll explain to you is this. When you're looking at cancer, let me give you this explanation quick. You're dealing with a change in tissue. Now, change in tissue could come about for a number of reasons, right? In integrative medicine, we learn of something known as necrosis. Now, if you go and do some research, you'll know what necrosis is. So necrosis is what is termed as damaged tissue that continually is able to operate, for want of a better expression, in the body. So when you will be looking at necrosis, is really, that is what cancer is referred to. So integrative medicine refers to it as necrosis. Western medicine calls it cancer. But what really is cancer? So cancer is the unusual duplication of cells, simply put. So whether in this particular case, where they're looking at the Gleason score, where whether it's 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, slow growing cancer, anywhere between 4 and 5, moderate growing cancer, 5 to 7, anything up there, aggressive cancer. But what that really is, okay, is that tissue is in a state of disrepair because the condition that is conducive for that tissue to continue to remain like that. So that's why you hear a lot of people saying, well, when they're talking about cancer, a lot of people talking about you need to alkaline your body and that is partly true. But it's not the only thing that helps someone to successfully deal with cancer because you have different ways that cancer could actually be got, for want of a better expression. So you have chemical exposure, exposure to a lot of carcinogens. So maybe it's your job. You may have worked in oil and gas. You may have worked in different chemicals. I know persons who have been cleaners for years, and you inhaling things like bleach and different types of chemicals while you clean. Remember, those things are chemicals. So you should be doing some sort of proper detox when you're involved in those type of things. Well, I've spoken to men on numerous occasions as it relates to things like welding, auto mechanics, and you all just don't listen because I don't know where you feel it is. Agriculture and that type of thing. You cannot be interacting with chemicals like that on a daily basis and not taking your detox. And as we speaking about detox, I was actually looking at an article the other day and I fell long laughing, literally, because I find it was so stupid. In the sense that one of the things the article was saying is that they were talking about cleansing and detoxing. And the article was saying that no part of the human body requires detoxing. And I was like, oh, really, 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 really? Of course, the person who wrote the article really, they wrote it from a Western perspective. But I continually appeal to people, especially, I mean, think about it. Common sense make before book. If you work in, let's use a simple example. You work in a gas station or you live close to a gas station and you smelling fuel on a daily basis. You ever smell when you go through a gas station? Now we know there are some people who love to smell gas, and usually, if you like to smell gas, it means you have some sort of deficiency that you need to address because that's why you want to smell it. It's just like women long ago who used to eat dirt and sand and those type of things, especially during pregnancy, because your body is actually the cravings that you get is actually your body telling you, hey, you need food enough. That's like me. I wouldn't necessarily um use I mean I use meat, but in moderation. I use more fish and if it's chicken, dependent, whatever the case may be, seafood. But there are times when I would get literally my body is going to tell me, hey, it want meat or some sort of protein. So I shouldn't say that it wants meat, but protein in a particular type of protein. And I know because I know myself and a lot of people. So those of you who listen, you might understand what I'm saying. You might just get a craving. Now the thing is, some people just get plenty cravings. You might get a craving for ice cream. You might get a craving for cake. You might get a craving for right. So once you're having those and you don't have them too often, all right, we wouldn't kill you for that. But don't tell me a craving for ice cream every day, right? Good. But the point I'm making is that when you have deficiency in the body, your body's going to tell you, hey, you need this, you need that. You get that feeling. But back to what we were discussing with the cleansing. So it's very important that you need to cleanse. You can't be a painter, you can't be painted. Come on, man. Trinidad and Tobago, what are you doing yourself? I met a client recently who used to they do woodwork. So they deal with a lot of lacquering and the spraying. And let me tell you something. You cannot be doing that type of job and not doing your detox. I'm telling all later down in the road, you're going to somebody, you're going to get a call, you're going to get a pain. And when you're going to get the pain you're going to get is going to be a cancer pain. And that is not Dr. Batson trying to be the prophet of doom and gloom or thinks he know everything. I am telling you, God's word tell you that. See, whatever a man is sowing, you are going to do what? You're going to reap. Stop mixing faith with foolishness and saying, well, you're a child of God and you know your business with the Lord. That's between you and the Creator. And I get involved in that. But what I'm saying to you, do not mix faith with foolishness and believe you could do what you want and not take certain things into consideration. You're going to be in problems. So you're doing woodwork, and don't talk nonsense and tell me strippiness, but you have people spraying for you and you don't spray and you in the office. Listen to me. You're going to end up in problems. You're going to end up in problems. Your body has basic rules, and detoxification is a rule now, especially because of the world that we're living in. You smell the air that you had to breathe. When you're driving on your way to Port of Spain, I don't want to tell all I don't want to explain. That scent you just get, you could imagine you smelling that whole day. Our air quality in Trinidad and Tobago is not of the best. We could improve it. There are a number of things. So it's just a matter of now understanding that you need to take your detox. So take your detox, please. Please, you're not doing no. And anybody, I don't care who that doctor is, what school they went, they need to go right back where they went. They need not give people advice on detoxifying because you knows nothing about it. Stay out of the people business and stop asking barbers how to make cake. Stop doing it. Go by the baker and them. You need to take your detox. You cannot work in those environments and not take your detox. I am telling you, it's just a matter of time. Those chemicals going to store themselves, hide it in the tissue, fall up there. Next thing is because it's a cancer diagnosis in your waist. So mind your business, please. As the good people say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. So as regards to that question with the prostate, as I said, ultrasound, MRIs, CT, transrectal ultrasound, we could work with that. Biopsy business, you don't let nobody do no biopsy on you. I don't care what they say. Me personally, and that's how I give advice. If it's me, yeah, cutting me open, not chucking no needle inside of me to find what you're looking for. Tell me. The argument is that it is going to be able to no. Trouble. Now that's all a decision to make, eh? Remember, I can only give advice, eh? Right? But I'm telling you, if it's me personally, I am not doing that. Better go and do a CT scan. Doctors tell you that if it is you have cancer, they have to do a biopsy. You don't have to do no biopsy. Why you have to do a biopsy? But when you treated me with chemotherapy and radiation over the period of time, in order for you to determine my progress, you do a CT scan. Why don't continue doing biopsies? That ain't making no sense. Why is it to determine my progress, you do a CT scan? Because that's what it is do. The CT scan is done every 6 months or every 6 months most of the time to determine, and then they would compare the most recent CT with the last CT. Not so? I asking all I telling all That's what it is do. So if that is what you're doing, use that first. Why are you going to dig up and take a piece of this, a piece of that? You want to push needle down inside of people's breasts and no. And that is me respectfully disagreeing or agreeing to disagree. Good? It's your body at the end of the day. You make up your decision. You make your mind and make a decision. But me personally, I am not doing that. And I don't see the need for it to be done. But again, we'll agree to disagree. So we'll move on from there. Let me say a pleasant good morning again to our social media listeners. We have Miss Maureen Pierre-Reed. She says, great morning, Dr. Batson. Dr. Batson, what would you recommend for a swollen thyroid? The thing is, if you have a problem with your thyroid, and again, women who have PMS problems, I'm glad you asked this question. Most women with PMS, so ladies, all you have to watch on yourself again, thyroid problem. I already told you all what to do. Now, there are products that we use for thyroid to use internally, but I'll tell you something. Externally, get yourself some black Jamaican castor oil and you mix it with your coconut oil. You know the ratio. By now, the ratio is 1:1. So your thyroid area kind of small. That's by your neck there, right? So you take 1 teaspoon of castor oil, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, you mix it, you heat it. No, I didn't tell you to boil the oil, right? Heat it slightly and you massage under your neck. You all know where your thyroid is, right? That area there. What you could do is you could take some that glad wrap kind of situation. You wrap it with that. Then you put a scarf. That's to keep the warming, because what castor oil does, castor oil actually goes in and helps with lymphatic drainage. It is very good for your thyroid. It is very good for your breast. Men, it is very good for your prostate. I tell you about that last time, right? So you have your wife there, or you rub your prostate for yourself, or you make up all your mind, whatever. You could make a game out of it if all you want. But make sure and use it, gentlemen. It helps your prostate. It helps with lymphatic drainage. It even helps with erection and all, because it actually helps to remove a lot of impurities from the lymphatic system. Remember, your lymphatic system is the system that cleans your circulatory system. So do it have no shame in that. Get your castor oil, men. Ladies, you massage. Boss, men, your prostate. And I serious talk I talking there for you all. Nice piece of free advice you get there. Because castor oil, as I said, helps with lymphatic drainage. People who end up with cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, they have serious lymphatic drainage issues. Yeah, castor oil, someone is asking, would castor oil help circulation around the ankles? Yes, it would. But remember, you're mixing the castor oil, right? Your castor oil with your coconut oil. Ideally, you could use coconut oil or olive oil. I prefer it with the coconut oil. I find the olive oil already kind of thick, and then castor oil even thicker. So I don't like how it feels when I do it like that, because it's a very good thing. It's also very good to put in the mole of your head. Those of you, if you have problems with your sinus, you could actually put it in the mole of your head. You take it and you put it to the back of your ears, on the side there, your lymphatics under your neck, all there. If you have problems with a lot of back pain, especially if you figure it's close to your kidneys and you get in there, it's also very good to rub in that area by your kidney, your abdomen. It is a good oil. It really does some good for the body. So it is something that you should look into. So again, very quickly, those telephone numbers and locations. We are on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We also on the corner of Ramsonwood Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. That number again is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. And Tobago, you have your new office. That is at the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago, right where we were, but next door, right? Well, same building next door. That telephone number, 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And of course, Tobago, you can also call 312-4248. So Tobago, this is how we do the thing, right? We will have the consultants there. The consultants will be there during the week. The consultants would do consultations, your blood analysis, your scan, magnetic resonance. And then Dr. Batson has a specific days where he will come and he will do his review. All right, that's the only way you could make the thing work, because Dr. Batson cannot pick up himself and just, you all know how the thing is go. All right, Mr. Carter, sir.
Yes. Good morning. I have a daughter-in-law that has a lot of excruciating unbearable stomach pains. We went to the hospital and they performed an ultrasound and CT scans, but they say everything appears to be normal. She's still experiencing terrible pains.
Now she had to come to Batson and Associates, boy. Bring that CT scan, or well, I don't know where you're located. I'm speaking as if with the assumption that you're close, right? And let's help you with that. The thing is, and I'm glad they asked that question. The thing is, if you're not feeling good, something had to be wrong with them. Let me just say something quickly. There's a diagnosis, and again, it's not me being facetious, but simply stating facts. There's a diagnosis that I personally call a dustbin diagnosis. Now, let me tell you what the dustbin diagnosis is. The dustbin diagnosis is you go to the doctor, you're not feeling well. So you might have problems with sleep. You might be having headaches. In this particular case, you're having stomach pains all the time. The doctors would have done, in their mind, all the tests that they could have done. So they drain you, they take all your blood, they check this, you don't have HIV, you don't have low blood clot. We check everything good with you. Then we go to 3D now. So we want to see organs. So we want to know if the organs functional, if they're structurally sound. So then we go ultrasound, we go X-ray, we go CT scan, we do MRIs. So you would have done everything, and the doctors in their mind, they check you, and in their mind, nothing is wrong with you based on the diagnostics, because the diagnostic is not showing anything. And that is why Trinidad and Tobago, the listeners of Sky 99.5, I say a lot of the time, your diagnosis is not important. Most people come to me with diagnosis, and I can just take it and throw it through the window, because I'm telling you, you come with nonsense, you're talking for me, but boy, you don't know better, because you went to the doctor and the diagnosis the doctor gave you. But in a particular case where they check everything and you still saying you're sick, this is where the dustbin diagnosis comes in. You know what they do? They tell you, here, what you mad, you're right in your head. So take some tablets, take some sleeping tablets and something to relax you. Because we telling you from our professional perspective that we have searched everything. And we are seeing that you are well, and you are saying to us that you're not well. And because we are the professionals, you mad and we sane. So take some tablets. Now tell me if that making sense. And I have experienced that with numerous individuals. So I am saying to you today, if you are not feeling well, I don't care how much test you do. I don't care where you went. Come to Batson and Associates. You come. And let's do that blood analysis on you. Because you know why? Blood is a mirror. Blood is life. You cannot have unhealthy blood. I will say it again and again and again. You cannot have unhealthy blood and be healthy. It is impossible. Blood is responsible for the um is responsible for transporting what? Oxygen and nutrients to what? I always say it, to cells. Cells give you tissues, tissues give you organs, organs give you organ systems, and organ systems give you the body. If you are not healthy from a cellular level, you're going to get sick. Most people sick from a cellular level, you know, that's why they can't get better. You cannot get better because you know why? You're treating from a physical body level. You ain't even treating from an organ system body level rather. You have to treat the body from the cellular level. It is not the reverse. And that's what we do at Batson Associates. So it's blood. And in the study of hematology some years ago, proper hematologists would do what Batson Associates doing now. You know? This blood analysis that we're doing, this was actually done in hospitals years and years ago. You know, the Germans, especially, were the foremost authority. The Germans and the Russians were the foremost authority on blood microscopy work. In fact, the best microscope in the world is a Zeiss, or one of the best microscopes in the world is a Zeiss microscope, and that microscope is made by who? The Germans make that. One of the best microscope technology in the world is German technology because it gives you the opportunity to look at the body from what? Microbiological perspective. So when you fancy, and I feel so sorry for sick people. When I just feel sorry for all, I don't know, you know. You know why I just feel sorry? Because it's so easy to fix. Plenty of you walking around sick and suffering for nothing, no. But it requires a little bit of work. And in some cases, you got people who talk about expense. They say, Dr. Batson, these things are expensive. But let me tell you something. You have to fix you. You have a dynamic body. The way the body is designed, your bones, how old your bones is? Your bones not older than 2 years. Your bones change every two, anywhere between 1 to 2 years. You get new bones. The hair you have on the head is not on your head. How much time you went by the barber? I just always say this. Unless you're a ass or some kind of thing. The skin, your skin, the skin that you have here, the skin you're seeing on your face here, next month the skin will be here? No. You're going to get new skin. Your red blood cells, 4 months from today or whenever your blood cells would have changed, your red blood cells change every 120 days. What contributes to that? The heart muscles that you have, you think your heart muscles that you have now is the same heart muscles you're going to have 2-3 years ago? No, the body renews itself on a daily basis, no monthly basis, and by daily basis, your body renews itself. It just keep throwing out old, reproducing, replenishing, which is why sleep is so important. So if you're not sleeping, you're not getting that proper sleep. REM, which is rapid eye movement, and non-REM sleep. REM sleep is the most important sleep. Non-REM sleep important, but not that important. If you do not experience proper cycling of REM and non-REM sleep, you cannot have a healthy sleep pattern. That's why Nerve Restore works so good. Because Nerve Restore is designed to specifically fix neurological imbalances in the body. It is an adaptogen, or one of the properties in it is an adaptogenic property, which means it has the ability to adapt. It has the ability to do what? To reduce cortisol levels. What is cortisol? Cortisol is the stress hormone. Once your cortisol levels are elevated, any market play. You know the old people ever say that have more in the mortar than the peso? Yeah. So if you're feeling sick and they're telling you you're not sick, it's not something wrong with you, They just can't figure out what's wrong with you. So let Batson and Associates tell you what's wrong with you, Let us do that blood analysis. Let me again say a pleasant good morning to the hardworking staff at Batson and Associates, our very hardworking senior consultants, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Rene Bustamante, Mr. Stefan Vialva, and all the other hardworking staff at Batson and Associates. To the mothers again, I say a happy, happy, happy Mother's Day to you all, and I pray that your children and whoever deal with you treat you like a mother, not only today, but every day. Because every day, you know, we value you. And I always tell people you must always remember those that came before you. Because if those that came before you didn't do what they did, you wouldn't have been here. That's the problem with, I think, a lot of people, they don't understand the importance of being grateful, right? So that's a very important thing. So again, let me take some more out of your questions. We have a little bit of time still. Mr. Carter, sir.
Yes. I know someone who has acid reflux. Can detox help rectify? If so, what kind of detox?
Acid reflux could be helped by a detox. Santulan has actually helped a lot of people in bringing back some balance to the gastrointestinal system. Digestive balance is one of our most popular products. It's actually one of the products that finishes the quickest. Um, I'm actually in the process of we do a new, actually two new ones, which we'll be getting like in about the next 3 weeks. That we're going to get very quickly because that we had before. So it's just a matter of reintroducing it. And the reason why I'm such a big advocate of that is that it actually helps persons to have their food digested better. The gastrointestinal tea is also a very good product. So what I would say, if it is you have acid reflux, check some things. Do not eat and drink simultaneously. Um, try not to try and take dairy out of your diet. Reduce your sugar. Um, eat when you're eating, eat. Chew your food properly. Do not drink simultaneously. You should drink large amounts of water on an empty stomach. What is an empty stomach? An empty stomach is either an hour before or 2.5 hours after a meal. When I say drink large amounts of water, I'll give you an example. So let's say you get up 5 o'clock, right? You get up 5 o'clock, you drink a glass of water. Let's say you drink a 8 ounce glass. Let's say you could drink a 10 ounce glass, or you might be able to drink a 16 ounce glass. You have to know yourself. If you're not accustomed drinking water when you get up, don't go and drink a whole bucket of water in the morning and say ladies want to start off and start like you figure the more you do is the health. No, you'll send your body into shock. Don't do yourself that. So start off, if you know you're not accustomed drinking water when you get up in the morning, start with 8 ounces. It's easy to get an 8 ounce. An 8 ounce, the small Styrotex cup there, that is 8 ounces. And we have plenty cooks listening to this program, so I'm sure your wife have a cup and different measurements in the house. So you know what a cup is, right? You start or ounces. You have 16 ounces, you start off gradually and you increase over a period of time. The point I'm making is that you do not eat and drink. So let's say you get up 5 o'clock. So what I will do, let me give you an example of me. So when I got up this morning, what time I got up? I got up late this morning. I got up like I must say about what? 7. Right. I had two 20 ounce glasses of water, but I didn't drink the water one time, right? So let's say 7 o'clock. So the first glass I had like maybe about 7:05. But I'm accustomed drinking a certain amount of water. So I had the first cup, which I didn't gobble down. It took me like about maybe about a 5-10 minutes to drink it, right? While I was doing something, I would drink the water. And then maybe about 10 minutes after 20 minutes after that, I drank the next glass of water. So that would have been 40 ounces of water, but I'm accustomed doing this. So the point I'm making is that with that now, so that would have been 7:30, and 2 hours after would carry me to 9:30, right? So the thing is, all I did was a mixture with some wheatgrass, sea moss, and that kind of thing. So I blended that and I drank that before I came here, right? So the point I'm making, I would now drink, I started to drink water again now here, but because what I had was an easier meal to digest, because remember, it's primarily liquid. So anything between an hour, 2 hours, an hour afterwards, I would drink. So that's just to give you an example there. You actually need to space out how you drink like 16 and 8 ounces of water. Space. All right? That's very, very important. in how you do that. So if you know you have an acid reflux problem, we carry the Santulanders help, the Alkagen water help, the digestive balance help, digestive restore help, gastro tea is also very good. But from the practical perspective, do not eat and drink simultaneously. Do not drink cold water. Um, Try and drink more hot tea. If you could have a hot cup of tea, like maybe 30 minutes before your meal, that is also going to help you as well. A pleasant good morning and happy Mother's Day to Miss Pamela Moses. She says, good morning, Doc, I'm late. All right. Miss Marva Crossley Belfast, good morning to you. Do you recommend taking saunas? Yes, I'm a big advocate of that. The only people who have to be careful with saunas are persons who suffer from hypertension. You need to be very careful because you need to be hydrated properly. You don't want to be hypertensive and going into a sauna like that and you do have, because remember saunas interfere, well not interfere, but they actually help to remove a lot of toxins from the body and that kind of thing. But it also going to interfere with some of your electrolyte balance in the body. So it's very important that if you are hypertensive, you know exactly how you do it. Okay? Mr. Carter?
Yes. Doctor, I have a case here, value of 0.3. Should I still have a digital prostate examination to determine the size?
I mean, I prefer ultrasound. I'm being very honest. Okay, so Trinidad and Tobago listeners of Sky 99.5, and this is not me attacking any urologist or anybody like that, right? All I'm simply saying, you all know what a digital exam is, right? So the digital exam is where the doctor will put on her gloves and they will literally take the finger and insert it in your anus and feel your prostate. If the feel is rough to the touch, but my thing is this: get an ultrasound. Because here my argument where this is concerned, and somebody would agree, somebody could disagree, and again we'll agree to disagree. If we're going based on feelings, right? Because we're going based on feeling. So this is now based on touch. Everybody's touch or ability to evaluate things based on touch is different. All you follow me? So you might have 19 or 20 doctors do a digital exam on you, and 10 of them might say prostate good, and the next 10 say, well, it feeling smooth and nice, you're good. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is ultrasound, boss man. If I was you, uh ultrasound on the prostate, because transrectal ultrasounds are not really recommended because they're a little bit, remember the transrectal ultrasound now is a bigger device they push in your anus, and it now has to, because of the way it goes in the probe, it now gives the back of the prostate and that kind of thing. So it depends on what your issue may be. If you're experiencing things like stoppage of water, starting, stopping, talking about that, we got back prostate formula in stock. Prostate tea, I know we have, but we'll get a larger amount in this next set of teas we get in here, which should be next week after next we'll get again. But the point is, with the prostate, I would suggest you do that prostate ultrasound. If it is you have more issues where you're experiencing maybe stoppage of water, those type of things, then we're gonna have to go maybe MRI, CT, that type of thing. But there are alternatives out there and viable and effective alternatives at that. Okay, Miss Cathy Clark, Dr. Batson, are eggs still good to consume? Yeah, man. Eggs. The thing is, I'm a common fowl egg person. If I that's all I just use. I mean, so if you could get that, better fat, you know. But eggs in itself have a lot of nutritional value in it. I am just very wary as to what we have out there. Because that's something we always have to pay close attention to, and you always know what you get to know, especially with eggs. Because I'm a person I use that a lot, so I try to stick more to the common fowl, and that's what we normally do. Zaya Chambers says, what do you recommend for constipation? Well, first of all, if you're constipated, you need to determine why you're constipated. Most people are constipated because of lack of proper water, lack of proper roughage in the diet. Some people experience issues with constipation because they do not have sufficient fiber in the diet. Remember, as I was explaining earlier, insoluble fiber expands in the lining of the intestine, and that expansion actually pushes against the lining of the intestine and help to improve bowel movement. I would suggest you use the Alkagen water. I don't know if you drink your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. That is something you should calculate. So take your weight divided by 2 in ounces and truly evaluate if you have been drinking that amount of water for the last month or 2 months. And if you have not been doing that, I suggest you start to do it, and then you could move from there. But once you have constipation, constipation could be corrected. The question is, why are you constipated in the first place? Okay. Again, someone is asking a question about international clients and if we do consultations for international clients. Yes, we do. We do Zoom consultations, WhatsApp consultations for you, and that telephone number you can call is 1-868. That will be 1-868-373-2388. Again, that's 1-868-373-2388. Mr. Carter?
Yes, someone is actually asking about me to Eagle's office.
Mhm.
Like you answered the question on Teams or screens over Santuan. So they're asking me to Eagle office these products.
Yes, the Tobago office has all the products that we usually have in Trinidad. What we need to do is this week, we're sending our products again because I know our water is almost finished. So we will be sending products for Tobago every week, ever so often, that type of thing. So you'll have access to all the products. So essentially, Tobago has everything now that Trinidad, all the offices in Trinidad have. Even more so, in fact, when we put in those different therapies that we'd be doing and that type of thing. So you have everything there. So that number for Tobago again is 312-4248. That's 312-4248, as well as 226-4553. That's 226-4553.
Someone else is asking about the reason cleanse. They ask if someone is anemic, if that cleanse will help for that situation.
It would lend some assistance. It's not the only thing that will help with that. People with anemia need to look at your bones. You remember red blood cells are produced where? In your bone marrow, right? So most people who have underlying anemic situations, the reason why they never get better is because essentially you get iron tablets. Now, iron tablets could just build up your blood count, but it doesn't keep it up. Ferrous sulfate primarily. I'm not too much of an advocate of that. I find you have constipation and all sorts of things to deal with. When you're looking at building your blood and building your iron properly, you have to go nutrient dense foods. So things like your CMOS, advanced chlorophyll. There's a product we carry, which is a greens formula, advanced greens. And in working with that now, you're dealing with the root cause of the issue, and you're actually building or working on the building blocks that actually contribute to healthy blood, which is the bone marrow. I am not an advocate of bone marrow transplants. I don't know why they just put people through that. That's the next thing. I don't know what they just do that for. You want to take, how you go and take out somebody bone marrow and try and get them a next bone marrow? Really? They just do people some kind of things. I just wonder, I just really, really wonder if these people just use their brain sometime. Why would you change your bone marrow? Your bones, I just explained that your bones change every 2 years. You get new bones. Oh, goodness gracious. Eat properly, nourish your body, get healthy bones so that your bones can do what they're supposed to do now. Simple, simple, common. Everybody who have osteoporosis, people with osteoporosis, everyone who have osteoporosis could get better, The only thing with osteoporosis is that you're going to have to put out, you're going to pour some dust because you have left your bones to become compromised. What is osteoporosis? Osteoporosis is when you lose density in your bones. Your bones is a whole complete ecosystem in itself. You have osteocytes, you have something known as osteocalcin. You know how much different cells you have in your bones? So when you end up with bone density issues, your bones are comprised of what? Calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. Basic biology. In the form of what? Calcium phosphate. Your bones are the warehouses for calcium. So your bones and your long bones and your spine stores the most amount of calcium. That's why 90% of the people in the world have back problems. Because your problem is not your back. Your problem is your calcium deposits in your back have been depleted because your bones store calcium in the form of what? Calcium phosphate. In order to neutralize our acid, you need what? An alkaline or a base. Simple chemistry. The most readily available alkaline mineral in the body is what? Calcium. Calcium is stored in your bones. So in excess acidosis, lactic acidosis, severe acidosis, acid reflux, gastrointestinal reflux disease or any acid situation, your body is going to take calcium from your bones. So imagine you have an account in the bank and you're just taking money, take. What will happen? Eventually you are left with nothing because you are not putting back, you are not replacing, you're not replenishing. And that is how you get osteoporosis. So all the people who tell you about knee replacement and go and replace your knee, why in God's name would you go and replace your knee? Yeah, man? Why would you do that? Keep in mind, anything that you were not born with, anything that you have to get externally or internally in your body that you didn't come with is referred to as what? Foreign. So the less foreign you have in you, the better off you are. Why are you going to do a knee replacement? Think about it. You're going to replace a whole knee, you know? So it's hammer and nail and saw and the cutty and the thing, and you go and get a fancy knee. When what you should have done in the first place is do what? Deal with the root cause of your problem. You wait until your knee get bad for you to get all that pain, you know? So don't come and tell me, oh, I didn't do a knee replacement because I'm in pain. No, you're in pain long time. If you had done the correct thing in the first place, you would not have reached the point to end up in that pain. Okay, you might think, but how Dr. Batson could say that? Why he getting on? So I didn't know better. Okay, good. What did they say? What did it say? It never saying the old people have. What excuse is not a reason for something? I forget the terminology. But the thing is, you not knowing doesn't change the fact that you make the situation worse. So it is within your best interest to do what? To correct the situation. Why I think Dr. Batson always talking about CMOS so? Because I feel to just come on the radio and tell all about CMOS? No, because it's good. I even went so far to go and find CMOS for you. Because I sending people for it and they can't get it. So we say, well, okay, we're going to get it for y'all. Because let me tell you something, it works. The problem with a lot of y'all is that you do not have what? Stick to itiveness. Stick to itiveness. And whenever I say that word, I always remember my former boss, Mr. Spencer. Good morning to you, sir, if you're listening to this program. Stick to itiveness, discipline and consistency will get you way further than talent. So don't come and drink the CMOS Monday, then Friday you hit it, then 2 weeks after. No, don't do me that. Don't do me that. We're doing every day as best as you can every day. And if you do it over and over and over, you'll eventually get the results that you're looking for. I tell you so. So don't let them tell you about you had to go and take. Why are you going and take out your knee? Why would you do something like that? Ask anybody who do knee replacement. Ask them. And let me tell you something. Anybody who tell you, well, no, I'm feeling good. No, wait. You're feeling good? No, wait. It ain't ready for you yet. I tell you, it ain't ready for you yet. When you see that wake up inside you, you go, no way, my leaders grow, as the old people have a saying. You know why? It is foreign. And that only lasts 10 years. When what you should have known to do is lose some weight because some people are a little too heavy. So if you know you're heavy and your knee giving you a problem, what you need to do? Become less heavy. Lose some weight. Okay? Get yourself some inflammation formula. Get yourself some CMOS. It have a product we carry with the astaxanthin, the omega with the astaxanthin. Very good product. Once you are not allergic to shell food and you are not a 7-day Adventist as regards to how you keep your because I respect people's religious persuasion and that type. And I work with everybody just come by me. So I am very mindful that I have to ensure that I let people know certain things. I don't make joke with that. I ain't going to give you something that you're not supposed to take. If you willingly say, because I know there are some 7-day Adventist people will tell you, Dr. Batson, this is for my health, and as a result of that, I can compromise this way, that way. You have to know how you want to do what you want to do. I can't force you. I will simply provide the advice and let you know as regards to what you're doing. But let me tell you something. You use that, and I tell you in tutus. We had people who come, because as I tell them, just recently I telling a lady in Tobago when I worked, I say a walking stick don't match with nothing. I find that is the most annoying, obnoxious people that think to you with your nice outfit, dress up nice, and you had this walking stick and this walker. Nah, man. If better can be done, then let us do better. Good? Miss is Heard. Let me say a pleasant good morning to good morning to Miss Nicola Heard. She says, how important is a chiropractic visit? Chiropractic visit. Very, very, very important. I tell you so. Very important. Miss Jessica Clark, she says, good morning, honeybee. Full joy, your Mother's Day. Miss you. Yes, Miss Jessica Clark, happy Mother's Day to you, Miss Alicia Alexander. Good morning, Dr. Batson. Great program. It's been a long time, LOL, but I am back now. Josie Smith, we need a office in London, please. Oh, all right, I hear you. Working on it. Seriously, though, I hear, because you're not the only person told me that. Sharon Theodore, she says, Dr. Batson, can I use coconut oil and the black Jamaican oil can be used together as a lotion every day? I wouldn't say I should use it every day because remember, but you could put it in certain areas. You'll put it under your feet. I do it under my foot a lot because you know the highest amount of absorption in your body is in the palm of your hands, the sole of your feet, the opposite part of your elbow and the opposite part of your knee. That's where those tissue have the highest amount of absorption, and then of course your skin itself. All right. Miss Janelle Bartholomew says your programs are always informative and educational. I always enjoy. Thank you so very much for that. So again, those telephone numbers and locations to the people of Tobago. You have your office now. You know, and of course, as I said, we're going from strength to strength as we would continue to improve our service to you. That office, of course, and location. We are located on the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago, and that telephone number for the Tobago office is 226-4543. That 53, my apologies, that's 226-4553. You will be seeing more Dr. Batson and Batson and Associates now that we have come over that hurdle. Because Tobago was a challenge, but you know, what will kill it is make you stronger, right? St. James, that office is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. Keep in mind, we have open clinic days in all those offices. That means you do not necessarily have to have an appointment, but you can walk in if you plan on doing your blood analysis and your scan. You fast for 2 hours. Shogunas is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. And that telephone number again is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Over to you, Mr. Carter.
Good morning. So, 4 months ago, you said the oil was not suitable for cooking. They're saying that I heard you say that it is actually good for cooking. She has to be clear out.
Yeah, definitely. So I like most persons, I'm going to go and do my research because I'm always looking for stuff and you know doing research and that type of thing. And what you found is that we know that different oils have different recommendations as regards to the heating points. So the thing is, when you really look and you do the research, you realize that it actually is a oil that you can cook with. So I stand corrected because I was one of those who would say, you know, no, you don't use it like that. I know it was always good for drinking. Olive oil, coconut oil, always good for drinking. The thing is, it actually, you know, you could throw it over your salads and that type of thing, but it does have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually get the information itself as regards to the heating points and all of those. So the next program that I do, I'm going to actually give you the breakdown as regards to the exact figures and the heating points and what it could be used for and that type of thing. Okay, so I'm going to do it properly for you, and I'm going to put that in place there and let you know as regards to the different ones, because there's an entire chart that they have where they show you the different oils like the canola, the corn oils, and the heating points, and you know its usefulness in terms of cooking, because that's one of the biggest problems that we have, which is why we have people with so much cardiovascular problems, is because a lot of these oils that they have, the heating points are not sufficient, and as a result of that, the oil is denatured by the heat and it becomes more dangerous than beneficial for you. That's essentially what it is. So I'm going to do that properly for you and give you an entire breakdown as regards to that. Okay, next question.
used to my inflammation. Should I cut back on it as I have high ESR?
Yeah, definitely. If you have a high ESR, for those of you listening, ESR is an acronym for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio, and it is actually one of the tests used um, in blood work, laboratory work, to determine how high your inflammatory response is. There's also something known as a C-reactive protein test, right? So if you have elevated levels of those inflammatory response, it means you'd want to remove all inflammatory things from your diet. So things like coffee, a lot of fried foods, sugars, those as well. You should significantly reduce those or remove those completely from the diet. Okay. Ms. Alice Comerbat said, I would like a consultation and recommendations from you. I want to get rid of my walker. Okay, good, no problem. You could just send that information for us and we would organize that consultation for you. Ms. Cathy Clark, Dr. Batson, can you set up an office in the USA? All right. All in due time, my friends. All in due time. In addition to that, one of the questions too someone was asking is as regards to diabetic or diabetic neuropathy. Quickly, the thing is, diabetic neuropathy can be corrected. Neuropathy or nerve damage associated with diabetes is something that most diabetics suffer from or will eventually suffer from. However, again, as I was telling you, there are things that you can do to correct that situation and ensure that you do not end up in any problems and you are able to actually make significant improvement in the body. And that's what we want. The objective in what I do, why I do what I do, is because there are people who need help. And there are people who, as I tell you, just suffer unnecessarily. I remember getting a testimony recently from a client, and she said, Dr. Batson, I didn't expect her to get better so fast. And I said, I understood that, but it was like a matter about a month. She was like almost 90%. No pain. She said, Dr. Batson, I don't want to talk too soon, but I didn't believe that I would have gotten better so quickly. And that's the thing with some people. Some people going to get better faster than others because you have to understand everybody is essentially the same, but different. And you have to understand that your situation may be slightly a bit different because the thing is, your organ systems or your base, you might be more dehydrated than the other person. Because there are some people who genuinely do not drink water. And then, so you're starting off at a disadvantage. So you have to play catch up, as the people say. And catch up now is going to require a specific protocol, a specific way in terms of doing certain things. All right. Ms. Janelle Bartholomew said, Dr. Batson, what course of studies would you recommend for a person who wish to follow in your field of expertise? Good question, man. Integrative medicine, clinical nutrition is actually a very good field. The thing is now a lot of medical schools trying to implement some aspect of integrative medicine in their syllabus because they realize now the world is asking more and more for doctors who are more open-minded and understand lifestyle and understand dietetics because as I said, the entire world didn't reach where we are by eating salad and walking around the savannah. We reach here by the overuse of hydrogenated oils and processed food and sugars and all these things. That's how we reach which part we are. So in order for it to be corrected from a global perspective, then we need to change the way we look at things and the way we do things. Okay. Uris Mato says, good day, Dr. Batson. I have a relative who is thinking of knee replacement, has a diagnosis now with bone touching bone and has much pain. I know you speak much about CMOS. What are the other products she needs to use? She lives in the USA. Okay. Okay, so I'll answer that question just now. Ms. Jessica Clark says some people have discipline and practice consistency, and that determines results. Exactly so. Ms. Janelle Bartholomew, she says, thank you for this response. Ms. Alice Comerbat says, in Barbados, please, I have a peripheral neuropathy, severe nerve damage. I am not diabetic. I have had rheumatoid arthritis for over 40 years. I have swallowing issues, so I don't drink enough. I would love to be able to say like that lady that you have cured me. Okay. Well, Miss Comerbatch, reach out to me. Reach out to us. On the 3149975, 1-868-3149975. And let me see how best I could help you. All right. So to the question about the CMOS, I mean, there are a number of other things here. There's a collagen and hyaluronic acid that we use. I'm a big advocate of it. I love that product. I always tell people it's compared to a lot of collagen, it's a little more on the pricey side, but the quality is excellent. Hence the reason the price. But I mean, all the clients who used it, there's actually a client we had in Tobago. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Latoya in Tobago, who always works very hard in that office. And Latoya actually made a recommendation that she, of course, being our consultant in training right now. And the recommendation she made, this gentleman was in a wheelchair and he's no longer in the wheelchair again. And one of the products he used was that collagen with the hyaluronic acid. I tell you, the product good. If it good, it good. And the thing is, I always try my utmost to source some of the best products. I work with some of the best nutrition companies in the world. I don't make joke with my work. I'm going to spend that money to make sure I get proper products for you. You got to spend the money. You got to spend the money to get the product though. But that is a matter of us really doing what we need to do, dotting our I's and crossing our T's as regards to that. So, Mr. Carter, sir, I know we very soon for our time to be up, correct?
Yes, my friend.
Yes. So, what I will do, of course, again, those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We're also on the corner of Ramsey Mooch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 2237515. That's 2237515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 2208113. That's 2208113. Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Tobago, you're going to be seeing more of myself. You're going to be seeing more of our consultants. And, of course, we're getting your Tobago office up and running to its full capacity. And that telephone number for Tobago is 312-4248. That's 312-4248. And, of course, our telephone number again, 226-4553. I had actually planned to do something for you guys this evening. However, I'm going to change it because see Shakil excited. Shakil wanted excited to give all their live this evening. However, I would not be able to give them that live this evening. So what we're going to do, we're going to do one in the week for you. So I'm going to decide when I speak to Shakil between today and tomorrow, please God, we're going to decide exactly when we're going to do that live for you. Keep in mind, we also have our Thursday. That has not changed, our entire Thursday program where we're going to be on, those different. So sorry, what you need to do is add us on social media. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, it's Dr. Batson. To the listeners of Sky 99.5, to all the mothers out there and all the fathers who have motherly roles, happy Mother's Day to you. Mr. Carter, sir, thank you very much for your time. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Mothers, enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. And God bless you. Take care of yourself. Yes, social media. So again, we are finished. So keep in mind Thursday, and then put my foot in my mouth on the radio there. And most likely, yes, Tuesday. Oh, yes, Tuesday. Why am I forgetting Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday we moved, right? We are 11 to 11:15. Right, so that's 11 to 11:15, and that's on the Promise Isaac, which is 98.1. Wow, I have so many radio stations to remember. So Isaac, the Promise 98.1. We are going to be on that program from 11 to 11:15. And of course, Thursday, it's business as usual with 103.1 FM. That is from 11:05 to 11:25. Then we are with Freedom 106.5 FM. I'm not too sure if we have a 45 minutes program this week where we do.
The program is just 45 minutes.
Okay, good. So we are now 45 minutes, which will carry us from 1:15, my apologies, to 2. And DJ Mamu Radio TT.com is from 2:15 to 3:15. So always a pleasure to be in your company. Stay safe. Mothers, again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And, stay blessed, stay safe until next time. God bless. Bye-bye.